Hello, everybody. My name is Jesus Martinez. I'm an immigration attorney, and today I want to inform you about how to properly fill out a FOIA request to USCIS. You would need this if you were trying to get proof that you submitted some sort of document, a document was submitted on your behalf, or that you had approval of some sort of document, some sort of benefit. The form you would need, you can get from the USCIS website. You can go on Google and type in FOIA USCIS G639, which is the form that you need to fill out the FOIA request. Once you download it, this is what it looks like. It's very short. It's not too difficult to fill out. So the first thing on type of request, part 1, you would select this box since it is a Freedom of Information Act request. On part 2, request your information. Who is the subject of record? Is it you? If so, yes. If you are submitting this for somebody else, then you would select no. Since you are not the subject of the request, you are not the person that is being looked into. Your records are not being looked into. If you are the subject of record, this next section, representative role to the subject of record, does not apply. However, if you selected no here, then this would apply. You would select if you're an attorney, accredited rep, family member, etc. Next section, requester's full name. You would put your full name if you are the subject of record. First name, last name, middle name, if any. You would put your mailing address where you receive mail, different from where you live. If you live and receive mail at the same place, same address. However, there are some people that live in one location, receive mail in a different location. If that applies, put your mailing address here. Street number and name, apartment, suite, floor, city or town, state, zip code, country. That's it. Next information is requester's contact information. So your telephone number, email address. The next thing you would do, you would have to put the date that you signed the form. Put the date here, you sign it here, and you are signing. And in signing, you're saying that if there is any cost, keyword if, then you are willing to pay up to $25 for the costs that were associated with getting the records. Next section is part 3, description of records requested. This part is not necessary, as it states you're not required to respond. This box, this section is important in the event like there is a large case file that USCIS has on your behalf. If you need the records quick or you want them quick and you only want a specific section of the file, then you would specify, for instance, let's say there's various different visas on your case. There's a student visa, work visa, an employment visa, a family petition that's also pending. You only want information about the student visa when you first entered, then you would specify that so that USCIS doesn't spend a lot of time looking for everything. They can just find this. The next part is the full name of subject of record, redundant, but again, if you are the subject of record, first, last name, middle name. Next section is the other names used by the subject of record. So if you have ever used other names, like for instance, you had a maiden name, put that here. If you have a middle name that sometimes you use, sometimes you don't, you have various different last names, you put that here. And there is no requirement to put your first or your most recent change of name in 4 or 3. Just put whatever other names you've used, if any. The next section, full name of the subject of record at time of entry into the U.S. So if you were born with your maiden name, you got married, and then after marriage you came into the U.S. legally, I would put the information for your name when you last entered into the U.S. The next part is about other information about the subject of record. It's Form I-94. Some people may have an I-94 card. Not all people do. If you do, you put that information here. If you don't, then, or if you don't know what it is, then you likely don't have it. The next part is about passport or travel document number. If you have a passport, then you put that number here. For both of these, it's not, or for all of these, it's not a requirement to have it, but it does make the USCIS officer's job that much easier because it gives them some sort of identifying number. It makes it easier to identify your case file. The next question is about alien registration number. So if you have an A number, it's on your work permit, it's on your green card. If you have any approval notice, if you have any letter from USCIS, it likely has your A number on there if you have it. Some people don't. It's not required to have it, but some people do have it. If you do, put that here. USCIS online account number. If you created a USCIS account, then you do have an online account number. The way you would find that is you go online and you can find it that way. You log into your account. If you never made a USCIS online account, then you do not have one of these numbers. The application or petition receipt number. If you submitted some sort of petition, then they've given you a receipt, and on that receipt is the receipt number, and you would put that here. It usually starts with letters. The information about family members that may appear on requested records. This applies in the event that some sort of family member submitted a petition for you, then they are likely in your file, because on your I-130 or your family petition, it's going to have your family member's name and then you on there, and that is, you would put that family's member's name on here and their relationship to you, biological brother, parent, etc. Same thing for family member 2, same information. Parent's name for subject of record, first, last name, middle name for your father and for your mother. You put that here. Mother also has a maiden name. Not too difficult. Again, describe the records you are seeking. It's similar to what you were, the question above. If you are looking for a specific document or a specific file, then you put that here. Part 4, verification of identity and subject of record consent. You would put your full name, if you are the subject of record, and first, last name, middle name. Again, even if you were the requester, you're requesting it for a subject of record, you still put the subject of record's name here. And you put your date of birth, month, day, year, format, your country you were born. Again, your mailing address, you would put that here in the same format that was previously stated. Your phone, daytime, telephone number, email address would also go here. And again, as it states, it is optional. It's not necessary to put a telephone number. If you have one and you want to put one, you can. Same thing with email. The last part right here, part 4, is about verifying who you are. There's 2 ways. One is to go to a notary and get it signed. Another one is to do declaration under penalty of perjury. If you go to a notary, they're likely going to charge you anywhere from maybe about $10-20, maybe even more. If you want to save that, do the declaration under penalty of perjury. You read this, and in signing and dating it, you're swearing that what you're stating on this form is true, complete, and correct. And if you do this, you don't need a notary, you don't need to pay anyone to get this signed. You just sign it and date it, and that's it. Part 5 applies in the event there is some urgent reason to expedite your FOIA request. If you are in removal proceedings, as it states right here, you have a pending immigration court hearing date. If there is some other reason specified here, then that might be a basis for your FOIA request to get processed quicker. If you are in immigration court proceedings, I would also submit, as it states, notice to appear, any of these other documents, or even your next notice of hearing with your FOIA request, so that there is proof that yes, this does apply to you, and if so, then you can get it expedited and it'll be processed a lot quicker. If not, if none of these apply to you, don't worry about it. It should take several months. This last section right here, if you manually write this, if you physically write this out, then you would have to put your first, last name, a number, etc. If you are filling this out electronically, then it should automatically populate this information from your prior answers, so you shouldn't have to worry about this if you do it electronically.